What's up, my reseller friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, and I am a full-time reseller. In today's video, I have a come ship with me, and I'm actually feeling pretty good today because my eBay sales have actually started to go up. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I feel like I have a lot of really good stuff to show you today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dig right into it very quickly. So the first item is a Stormtrooper from a Lego set. Now I had the actual part number that this Lego went to, or the set this Lego went to, and I put that in my title. So I feel like that did help it sell, but it did take a long time for this to sell. I listed it in June and it's now February. So it took about 8 months, but it sold for $27.99 free shipping, which I feel is pretty good for just a little Lego minifigure. So I'm going to wrap this guy up in some cardboard. And you know, do I really need to do that? Probably not. I feel like if I didn't do this, it would still get to the buyer just as well. But this cardboard doesn't cost me any money. It just gives a little bit of extra security and it makes the buyer happy. And I'm gonna tell you, the better you can ship something, the faster you can ship something, the better chances you get of the buyer leaving you, not only just leaving you feedback in general, but leaving you positive feedback. A lot of resellers ask the question often, how do I get buyers to leave me feedback? And really the best advice that I can come up with is just ship fast and ship your item very securely. Make sure it's as described, and there's a high probability you're going to make the buyer super stoked that they want to go and leave you some positive feedback. So that's just my advice on that. This only weighs less than 4 ounces. It is going to New York though. I ship from California. It's gonna cost me $4.36 to ship. Next item is a Beanie Baby. This Beanie Baby is from 2001. It still has its little tag on it, and it is a little unicorn. I typically don't pick up Beanie Babies. I don't even look them up. If I see like a cute one that looks unique and it's in like a 25-cent bin or something, then I'll grab it. But other than that, I really don't mess with these. The only reason why I had this one and listed it is because it was my daughter's at one point, and we were downsizing a lot of her stuffed animals because, trust me, she's had a lot of stuffed animals within her lifetime, and I just don't have the storage space to be storing a bunch of stuffed animals that she doesn't care about. So anyways, this came from her, and this weighs 5 ounces. I'm shipping it in a 4x4x4 box. And I normally ship my plush in poly bags, but the reason why I'm shipping this one in a box is because there's a possibility that this could be a collector who's purchasing it, and these boxes are like super cheap, so it's not a big deal. So just to be safe, I shipped it in a little box. And this is going to cost me $4.68 to ship. Next item, I actually have a little bit of a story behind it. So not in my last video that I posted on Friday, but the video before that on Tuesday, where I just kind of talked about like my Hawaii trip, and I talked about how I've been just having problems finding good inventory. And I was sitting outside of a Savers filming that, and then I told you guys I was going to go into a Savers. Well, this came from that Savers trip, and I actually have another item to ship today that also came from that same Savers trip. But this one actually has a little bit of a story because I had bought a grab bag that had a bunch of action figures in it that had Aliens versus Predators and some Terminator toys in them. And it looked like these Predator dolls or figures were doing really well. This one, they were so hard to identify though, because all these like Predator aliens, they all are like different, but they look the same, if that makes any sense. And they have like series of them, so it's like series 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes up to like 15. So there's a lot of these figures, and it's hard to identify them because, like I said, they look very similar. So if you try to Google lens it it's gonna like show a whole bunch that's like not the actual one. So I was having a little bit of difficulty identifying it, and I think a lot of other sellers out there were in the same boat, because I would find it and be like, okay, that's the name, and then look up the name, and then that wasn't it. So it was like a lot. It just seemed like it was just very confusing, but I did my best and I listened to the name that I thought it was. Well, anyways, this one in particular, somebody had messaged me and told me, one, I had the name wrong, and they told me like the right name, or apparently it was the right name. I looked it up and it still was confusing. So I just took the name out of my title altogether. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. And then he told me that that the face had been painted. So if you could see, the face is like black, but it's supposed to be like a silver. So I believed him, because when I was looking these up, I was seeing that most of them had silver faces. So I thought, well, maybe I have like a rare, like unique one, because you know how sometimes with like collector things, they'll have like ones that have like different colors, but like some colors will be like more rare than others. So I was still like thinking maybe that was the case, but I wasn't sure. But when he said that, I was just like, oh, maybe it was painted, because it looks like it could have been, but it also looks like if it was painted, that it was painted very good, because it's really hard to tell. So I was just like kind of bummed out about that, because I had it listed for $75 or best offer. So I was like, well, maybe it's not going to be worth the $75 now. So I was kind of bummed about that, because I was expecting that I was going to get close to that for it. So I went and I put in I edited my listing. I took the name out altogether. And then I just put in the description that I've been told that the face could have been possibly painted, but I'm not an expert at these figures, so I just can't say either way. But I did disclose that in there. So anyways, somebody sent me a message, and I think this was like a different person. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I told my husband, I'm like, I'm gonna keep getting like these collectors like messaging me, like letting me know about about that it's painted, right? And I'm like, oh, I don't feel like dealing with this. So I told him, well, maybe I'm gonna have to like write that in like the title, which really I should have anyways. But that message, the buyer was letting me know again that the face was painted, and he had asked if I would take 30 for it. And again, I originally thought I was gonna get $75 for it. So I asked my husband his advice. You know, coming from a guy who at one point collected stuff like this of things that he liked, and I asked him like his opinion. Well, do you think 30 is a good price? And keep in mind, I had just listed it like that morning, so I was already like getting attention on it. And my husband had told me, he was like, take the 30. He said that's a really fair deal or fair offer. And he said that if it was him, that's what he would have offered. And you got to think about, if this person's probably going to try to restore it, they're going to have to try to put a little bit of extra work into it and whatnot. So I agreed, and I'm like, you know what? And then also, I just don't want to have to deal with the headache that comes along with it, like getting all these messages and the fact that this person was already aware that it was painted. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to accept the offer. So I accepted the offer. Me and the buyer messaged back and forth a little bit. And then like at the end, he was like telling me, he's like, you have such great customer service. So that made me feel really good. So I feel really good about selling to this person and getting that quick $30. All the action figures, I think I got a total of like 6 or 7 figures. I did not pay $30 for all of the figures. And one of them I have listed for like $150. So hopefully that one's not painted. I don't think it is, but I'm not an expert at these figures, so I guess we'll have to see. So yeah, so this sold for $30 plus the cost of shipping. This is just all a part of the journey of reselling, all these little obstacles we have to overcome. Okay, so yeah, it's only going to cost me $5.62 to ship, and I charge the buyer $6.33. So that's pretty good. next item is this San Jose Sharks jersey. It's like a mixture between San Jose Sharks and the Warriors, San Francisco Warriors. It's really hard for me and my husband to sell this one because we're from the Bay Area. So we're really big fans of the Sharks and the Warriors. So this is like a really cool jersey. It was one of those things that was given out as a free gift if you went to one of the Sharks games. But this jersey doesn't fit my husband and it doesn't fit me. So we're like, let's just sell it. I think I bought this at one point on Mercari. And yeah, I'm probably losing money on it. I don't remember how much I spent, but I sold it for $18 free shipping. And I had it listed for quite some time too. I'm actually really surprised it took this long for it to sell. I listed it in January of 2023, so this took a year and a month to sell. It's okay. Yeah, so this weighs 8 ounces. And it's going to cost me $4.38 to ship. It's going to Utah. And the thing about this one is, even though it took a long time for it to sell, this is just one of those items that always seem to pop up when I was able to send offers. So that goes to show me that people were looking at it, people were liking it, and it was giving my store a little bit of attention. So it's not a big deal that it sat in my store because I think it was actually a good item to have. Okay, and then the next item was another thing that I picked up from the Savers that I told you about. So this was hanging just like in the regular, like they have like a section where they have backpacks, lunch pails, purses, or they're like not as nice purses because they have like special parts in the store where they have like their nice purses on display and they try to charge you more than what you can buy it for on eBay. It's like ridiculous. But this was in like their cheaper section of like purses. It was hanging there and I knew right away when I saw the itty bitty, or what is it called? Bitty Baby, sorry. I knew right away that this was an American Girl doll purse. So this is like, they had a line where they called it Bitty Baby and it was like baby dolls. And this was just like an accessory that went with it. It's a diaper bag. You can like open it up and like change your baby's diaper. So this is like really cute. It was really good condition. And when I was looking at my competition, a lot of the people who were selling this bag on the lower end, it had a lot of like flaws and stains on it. And I knew that mine was in pretty good condition. I ended up listing this for $14.99 plus the cost of shipping. And I think I paid like $2 for this. So that was, and what I liked best about it was that it sold very quickly. So it sold within like a day or two of being listed. And that's what I love. I just love to list things at like that perfect price where it's gonna sell fast and still give me like a decent profit. I mean, it's not anything spectacular, just bread and butter stuff. I mean, I can live off bread and butter. So let me see, what do I need to do? Okay, so I'm just gonna ship it in a regular poly bag. This is a 10 by 13 size bag. There's nothing on this that can break, so it weighs 6 ounces and it's going to cost me $4.47 to ship it, and the buyer paid $5.25. Next item is a Barbie dress and hat. So I had purchased some vintage Barbie clothes, but mixed in there was a good amount of unbranded or homemade Barbie dresses, but you could tell that they were also vintage. And I have no problems listing unbranded and or homemade vintage Barbie clothing. So I actually had this one listed for quite some time. This was also listed in January of 2023. How weird, huh? 2 items from that month in that year. So this did take a little over a year to sell, but I have like this box over here where I have all my Barbie clothes, and it's organized really nice and it doesn't take up any space, so I'm totally fine with it. It's not a big problem that this took a little bit of time to sell. See, like this one's listed number 68, and right now I'm on number like 450 or something like that. So this is an old piece, but it did sell for $15 free shipping, which in my opinion is not bad. This was a really cute dress too. All right, it's gonna cost me $4.19 to ship. All right, this one I have to put a little bit of effort into. This was a purchase I made at Hot Topic when, like, the weekend after Christmas, they were having all their clearance was buy one, get 3 free or something like that. And it was a really good deal because the items were already marked down to begin with. And then it was like, you just buy one and then you get 3 items for free. So I bought a lot of stuff. I spent close to $200 at Hot Topic that day, and I left with bags full of stuff. So I'm still like, it seems like once a week I'm selling and I'm shipping out one of those items. So they've just been like really great items for me to have in my store, to help me just like get sales like throughout the year. You know, like I don't care if these, I mean, I would like them to sell fast, but it's not a big deal if they don't. Like, they're just great items to have in my store. So I have this backpack. What is it? I don't even know. I titled it New Build of Comity something. How do I say that? Comity? I'm really bad at pronouncing things, guys. You guys make fun of me sometimes in the comments. You're like, that's not how you say that word, or you pronounce that wrong. Or I guess I said in my last video, I was like, kick it to the curve. I know it's kick it to the curb, but I just have like a speech problem sometimes. So you guys, so some people like to let me know in the comments and remind me that I have a little bit of a speech issue. But anyways, yeah, this sold for $65 plus $10 shipping, which is great. I didn't pay even close to that. I think my cost on this was probably like $5. I don't even remember, but yeah, this was a really great sale. So the way I'm gonna ship this one is I'm just gonna wrap it up in some tissue paper. But I'm gonna need 2 pieces because it's big. I don't know if it's gonna fit in this size poly bag. I'm hoping it is, but I may have to grab the bigger one. Oh, it's gonna be cutting it close. We'll see. Let's try it. I would really love for it to just fit in this one. And the reason why this feels like, it's a standard size backpack, like a standard size school backpack, but it feels a bit bigger because it's brand new. And you know how like when you like wear your backpacks in a little bit, they start to kind of like shrink. Think? Oh, I feel like it might be slightly. No, I'm making it happen, guys. Look at how glamorous that looks. I'm not feeling great about this. I think that if I double wrap it, that will work. All I know is this person paid $10 for shipping. It's a $65 item. I do not have a box. That would be like a a good size box for it. I mean, I can cut a box down, I guess. But I think putting that extra layer, it looks better and it just gives it a little bit more extra like cushion. I'm gonna tell you something about USPS though. If they misplace your item or lose it, and you know that shows in the tracking, like, oh, it's been stuck somewhere for 2 weeks, they're really, really good about giving you your money back for it. But if you claim that something's been damaged, they are not as easy to give you that refund. So like, I had recently shipped something to someone and it arrived broken. That rarely happens. Rarely happens. I mean, it's so rare that it happens that I almost like question if it really did break or if someone's doing like one of those switcheroos. I don't know. Sometimes it's like you're not gonna know. But I had the buyer claim that the item was broken. He sent me pictures. Okay. Gave him his money back. And then I went on, filed a dispute, or filed a claim with USPS. And they came back and sent me a letter telling me that I need to have the item taken to a USPS location to have somebody like examine it. And it's like, I'm not gonna have my buyer like go take it to that's not reasonable. So, and that's not the first time they've done that to me. They've done that several times. So they make it really hard for you guys. So just to know, if you send something to someone and it arrives broken and it's worth a lot of money, don't just give the buyer their money back. Make them send it back to you. Because when you file that dispute with USPS, you may have to take it over to the post office. So that's why you want the buyer to send it back. So there's that. Anyways, I think this is gonna be good. And it weighs 1 pound and 4 ounces. 19 by 14. So it's going to cost me $6.16 to ship. Hopefully that's going to be good. Let me know in the comments if you think that is going to be totally fine, or if you think that I should have shipped it in a box. I would love to know what you all think. All right, next item is a Barbie furniture random various items mix set. So this has like modern items and vintage items in it of Barbie and the Rockers. So Barbie and the Rockers originated in the 80s, which I actually think that line is so freaking awesome. I'm such a fan of it. It was when I was a kid, I was like way too young for it. So I didn't have Barbie and the Rocker stuff. I didn't really start playing with Barbies till like the late 80s, like early 90s, around there. So this was a little bit before my time, but I've always just thought that whole idea of like Barbie and the Rockers was like really cool. But they came out with like a more modern version of it in like, what year do I have it in here? I forget what year it was, but it was more recently where they had like a new, so this is like mixed with like new and old. And these are just random leftover parts that I had from, you know, other furniture and random accessories. So this sold for $22.49 plus the cost of shipping of $5.99. So I am absolutely going to be shipping these ones in a box. This is an 8. What does it say? An 8 by 6 by 4 size. And I do in my description, I do have my Amazon affiliates link of just a lot of the stuff that I use here. I really don't care if you guys want to purchase from there or not. I literally get like 1% back or something. Like, it's not, I really don't care if you guys use my link or not, but I like to have that there so I can show you the stuff that I use in case you want to go buy it, you know what it is. But when it comes to like these types of boxes, I buy my boxes on eBay. I get a lot of viewers asking me where I get my boxes from, and it's just eBay, mostly eBay. Every once in a while I'll do Amazon, but mostly on eBay. And I don't have like a particular buyer that I buy from. I always just look for whoever has the better deal at the time. And I don't really take free boxes from stores. I know a lot of resellers do that. If you've got that situation going on, that's great. It's just something that I don't do. And I really just like having the organization of like knowing exactly which box I'm going to be shipping the items in that I sell. Cause I have a good little setup I have with my shipping supplies, so that when I list something, when I list it, I weigh it with that box that I know I'm going to ship it with and with the measurement, so I know exactly how much I need to charge my buyers, versus if I just have a whole bunch of random size boxes of stuff, it's going to make it harder for me to know like for sure. And then not only that, when it's time to ship, it's like you have to like dig through the different boxes to find the right size. I just like having what I have. It costs me money, yes, absolutely. I do get a lot of free boxes because me and my husband like we buy online all the time, so I always have boxes. And I have a couple of friends in the area who will give me boxes too as well. So I think I like have like a pretty good setup going on, I think. But yeah, so this is going to weigh 12 ounces. It's going to cost me $5.62 to ship. Okay. Next item or next sale is actually from a viewer. So thank you so much, Sharon, for your purchase. It is these PJ Maxx action figure toys. Make sure I actually have the right ones. Yep. I actually got a little bit nervous because when I went to go grab these out of inventory, I couldn't find them. And then, don't you hate that feeling like when you can't find something that you sell? It's just like, oh, it's like you feel it in your gut, like, oh no. But then it made it worse because I knew that this was a viewer purchase, and I was just like, oh my gosh, please let me find them. But I did find them. I had put them in the wrong bin, but luckily it was already in the second bin that I looked in. I was like, if it's not in this one, maybe I accidentally put in this other one, and it wasn't there. So it all worked out. We're okay. So it's these two little guys right here. These sold for $7.19. So with like these little action figures, I do use this 4x4x4 box. Again, these I purchase on eBay. This is going to weigh 4 ounces. And it's going to cost $4.36 to ship. And that's actually exactly what I charge for shipping. But thank you so much, Sharon, so much. I really appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you love them. Last item that I have to ship is a Sleeping Beauty. Oh, no, not Sleeping Beauty. Cinderella doll. If you're watching my videos on Barbies, you would have seen this one. I talked about how she's wearing her pink dress, which is rare because mostly Cinderella wears a blue new dress. But in the movie, there is a scene where she makes her own dress to go to the ball, and all of her little animal friends help her make the dress. It was supposed to be her mom's dress. She was really excited about wearing it and about doing all her chores and making it to the ball, but then the evil stepsisters rip it apart, and then she was left feeling hopeless. And yeah, this is that pink dress. And it's super rare to find Cinderella in her pink dress as far as dolls go. But this was also a Disney Store doll, but she was used. So I was able to get $24.99 free shipping, which actually for a Disney doll is pretty dang good, especially a used Disney doll. So I'm really happy with this sale. Again, this is a 8x6x4 box, the same size one. I use this for shipping almost all my Barbies in. Ken, however, does not fit in this box, so I always have to ship him in a bigger size box. And this weighs 8 ounces. I did not sell anything on Poshmark and Mercari. Everything is just strictly eBay today. Well, I hope everybody had a great Valentine's. Oh my gosh, my husband is the best. And he took me to the Jimmy Kimmel show to watch Gwen Stefani perform with Blake Shelton. And it was so amazing. It was so small and intimate, the performance. It was probably the smallest crowd that I have ever watched Gwen perform in. There was probably like 100 people, and it was just so special. Had so much fun. So that's what we did. Coming home, though, we got stuck in traffic for like 3 hours. That's what happens when you live in SoCal, I guess. But to me, it was worth it. But for him, I think he was super irritated. But yeah, sales have really started picking up a little bit for me. And I'm kind of stoked on it. I have been, ever since I got back from Hawaii, I've been working really hard at eBay and just trying to I'm really trying to focus right now, not so much on getting lots of inventory, but getting good inventory. And it's hard. I'm gonna tell you guys, especially for me in my area, it's not easy. And then you see all these other resellers that like try to give like advice on social media, and like if someone complains that their sales are slow, they'll say something like, well, you're just not listing good stuff. And then, but not everybody is able to just list home runs like all the time. It's not that easy. Maybe for some people it is. Like I know that when I lived in Colorado, now also this was, you know, at a different time too as well. But at the time when I lived in Colorado, this was like, I moved in 2001, moved back to California in 2001. But when I started reselling, taking reselling serious when I was living in Colorado, and it was so great there as far as finding inventory. But it also could just be too that maybe it was great here too as well, but it was just a different time when it was easier to source. But I'm just gonna say, don't feel bad if you're having a hard time finding inventory, because I'm in the same boat. Maybe I need to network a little bit more. Maybe that's what one of my problems is, because I'm really bad at networking. Like I don't want to work with other people. I just want, because I just don't trust people. And that's my problem. But I just like to, you know, just like be on my own, and maybe that's not good, but yeah, it is. But I've been working a little bit harder at it. I've been trying to give sourcing just a little bit more extra attention, and just working a little bit harder at it, and being more and being better at looking at something and being like, I don't need to list this. It's not going to give me a lot of money. Just let it go, Sabrina. It's fine. And that's something that I'm working at, that I struggle with, because like even if it's something that I'm going to make like $1 off of, I still feel like I want to list it. But I think that like if you're a new reseller, you should, because the more you're listing, you're like learning more. So it's good to do that. But I think once you get to a certain point, there comes a time when there's just certain things that, you know, you can just leave behind. And that's what I'm doing, and it's feeling pretty good. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Never forget that when you thrift upon a star, all your dreams will come true. I'll see you next time. Bye.